When we start working on new songs, it's basically everybody on its own. We don't start writing as a group in a rehearsal room, but we sit in our home studios and we have some ideas, and that we work on these ideas.
And then when we have a good feeling about it, then we just start sparring a little bit, throwing ideas back and forth and send them usually by email.
Once we had them, we put them on the table, and then we said, okay, now we go into the rehearsal room. We're gonna play together and see first if it works, and secondly to make the metal band very tight.
And we start rehearsing with the band to give it a little bit more of a live feel, of course, because you can write a cool song, but it still has to be playable live, and it still has to feel comfortable when you play it. Once we did that, we're going to record it in the studio as a band. So we recorded the rhythm section, of course, drums, guitars, and bass.
I think in the past, Epica was more a symphonic band backed up by a metal band, whereas now it's more the metal band is backed up by the orchestra.
I don't know other stuff to write than Epica songs because I never wrote songs for anybody else, basically. So, and I think Epica can be whatever we want it to be. So it's not that I necessarily want to write an Epica song. I just want to write a song which I think is good. And then, a sound of a band has to be evolving anyway. So it could be anything.
I have this simple rule. When I have an idea for a song, most people want to record it right away. That's not what I do. I first always sleep at least one night over it. And if the idea still sticks into my head the day after, then I know that's a good thing, because it keeps sticking in your mind, of course.
But you make the song, and then, of course, I program all the drums and the bass and the guitar, so it sounds like crap. But then if you start jamming and Arjen plays his beats the way he does, and Isaac plays his guitars the way he does, then it becomes the Epica thing.
And then after that, we start recording it for real. So it's a bit of a long process, but also it's really worth it because the songs really benefit from it.
Zullen we eens even helemaal doorgaan, Mierenneus?
Everything has to be good. It's like everything is amplified with a magnifying glass, and all the notes you play when you are in a control room of a studio, you hear it maybe 100 times as loud and isolated, and you think like, am I playing that stuff? And while you're playing, you haven't got a clue sometimes. You're just so into the playing that you don't have time to listen to it like somebody else is listening while you're playing it.
Dat was iets te snel klaar met die film.
It's every instrument is recorded separately from each other. So in that sense, maybe it does get a little bit lonely. But for example, our guitar player Isaac, he is also joining the drum recordings, and he always comes up with cool ideas. So in that sense, I'm never lonely. There's always someone talking to me like, hey, maybe try this or maybe try that, or you're playing a busy fill, just leave it out, or and stuff like that. So it's not a lonely thing at all.
Dankjewel. Dat was hem.
You have the writing, you have the rehearsals, you have the pre-production, and after that you have the recording. So it's not like I step in with a blank page. You already kind of know what's gonna work and how you want to approach it. But still, it's challenging, and some parts make me curse a lot. But that's normal. I have been playing guitar for so long, and the cursing is still there with every new song, with every new album. It's always a challenge to get it right, and I think that's the beauty of music and the beauty of playing an instrument. You're never done. You can always learn more and more.
Paradise enlightened.
It all has to fit together, and if you work a lot on the details, it would be a pity to kind of ignore them if you're actually recording. So I like the whole. I don't particularly like the studio because it has to be perfect or close to it. But I like to make the product as good as possible. And yeah, that's quite a lot of work. I look at a solo just the way I look at a song. It kind of has to have a nice start. You get into the solo. It has to nice. It needs a nice climax if you want. Of course, it kind of needs a little technical stuff here and there. Not always.
Dat was geen slechte take.
But basically I see it as a little song within the song, which also has to fit with the song, just like every song has to fit with the album, and the album has to fit with the artwork and the live show. So I try to see it as a little spiciness in the song. And also if the song doesn't need a solo, I'm the first one to say, yeah.
I think a lot of people still see me as a new kid. I mean, look at a band like Rush. I mean, Neil Peart, he's been in the band since the 70s, and he's still the new guy. So I guess there will always be some people will always see me as the new guy, but to me, no. I felt involved from day one, and the band made me feel like that. They've made me feel like a full member from day one. So did the fans. Of course, there's always a little bit of a... There are always fans who will probably see you as a new guy, but it doesn't bother me, to be honest. Of course, you have to find your way into, for instance, the writing process, of course, because you don't want to step in and completely do things your way, because the band already has its own sound, and you don't want to change it too much, of course. Because I'm a little bit more, when I write songs, I'm a little bit more out of the box thinking type, but I don't want to change things too much. So you always have to find your twist into it, but I guess I found it already, yeah.
For the Holographic Principle, we recorded again at the Sandlane recording facilities with Joost van den Broek as our producer. We totally felt like he became our 7th band member after recording the Quantum Enigma. He is so involved, he's so motivated, he is professional, he's like a musical centipede. And that's really what you need as a band, to have that professional extra set of ears that guide you from A to Z, and to be also totally motivated because you have ups and downs. This is a very intense process.
Like he takes everything from everyone and he already knows how to put it together. And because I'm not the biggest, I don't have the biggest knowledge about an orchestra or a choir, but then again I know a good bit about guitars. And then Koen, for instance, is kind of the choir guy, and he also helps a lot with the arrangements and has very good ideas about it because he's also a piano player and he thinks differently. And I think Joost is really good at knowing what people can and what they cannot do.
And Joost is the kind of guy, he's in a way a control freak, but in the good sense of the word. So he's everywhere involved, but everywhere he also contributes in a great way. So everywhere he sees what is needed to bring that detail up to the next level.
And it's been good recording with him, especially now, because for me, I knew way better what he wanted, and he probably knew much more what I wanted, so he didn't look strange when I came with these silly ideas that I have sometimes.
The Quantum Enigma was kind of a switch for us in a way that we changed the team, which was very challenging in the beginning. We didn't really know what to expect, and it worked out very good. I think I still think I'm still very proud of that album. And with the new one, we went on the same way, so you can see it as kind of the big brother of the Quantum Enigma.
I think for me, when it comes like production-wise, everything is even bigger than with the Quantum Enigma. With the Quantum Enigma, we set kind of a new level for us. It felt like a new start. Shortly before that, we had Retrospect, our 10-year anniversary, and it was a new phase of my life. I became a mother, and the Quantum Enigma was all connected to that. And now with the Holographic Principle, we set the bar even higher, and we saw it as a challenge to kick even more ass.
I think it's more intense, and the songs are, I think, of much better quality, and the sound is going to be much more in your face. So basically, things are, in my opinion, a level up.
So it's a lot more, and it was a lot more to record, but it pays off because when you record real instruments, it always sounds better than a sample.
Of exactly where we left with the Quantum Enigma and kept evolving. So if you like that album, I'm sure you're going to dig this one.